like to be digitally dead for 48 hours. My name is Lisa Renee Hall, and I help highly sensitive people and deep feelers explore their unconscious biases so that they stand on the side of justice and become better ancestors, all while protecting their energy. I'm on a very challenging trail. It's challenging not because it's brand new, but it's challenging because there's all this fluffy snow. It's really deep. And even with my crampons on, it's not making much of a difference in fluffy, tall, thick snow. There's no other place I'd be but on the trail, especially after an intense few days. So on the evening of the 13th of February, I opened the app, the Instagram app on my tablet, just to check and see what's going on. But every time I scrolled through the feed, it said, couldn't load feed. It was confusing to me, but I thought nothing of it. Closed the app, went on with my day, and it was a few hours later when I opened the app again that I saw the same message, couldn't load feed. And anytime I try to like on someone's post, it would light up red and then quickly disappear. So I noticed, I couldn't like anything, couldn't see new posts. And finally a message popped up saying, suspicious login activity. Can't remember what the rest of the message said. I should have taken a screenshot. So I was puzzled. And then Instagram logged me out. Took me right to the login screen. So I logged in, or at least I tried to. Then I got another message saying, please verify your account by choosing either the email or the phone number that's associated with this profile. I chose the phone number option, got a code. I entered the code into the screen. Then a message popped up saying, we're going to take a look at the info, and if all is well, we'll unlock your account in 24 hours. It's not the exact verbiage, but something along those lines. So now I'm just like, what gives? What is going on? I don't understand. This has never happened to me before. What is this suspicious login activity? And why is my account being locked? I mean, I know why, because the messages popped up and told me why. But what I don't understand is, what did I do to trigger that? So I waited the 24 hours. I did attempt to log in again and again through my other devices. And it was 30 hours later, not 24, but 30. So it's now Sunday night, going into Sunday morning, that I logged in. This time it took my password, but then a pop-up showed up saying, your account has been deactivated due to violation of terms. And now I'm about ready to freak out. So this is now about midnight. Or no, maybe it was about 11 o'clock. Sunday night. And my assistant is a few hours ahead of me Monday morning for her. So I sent her a quick WhatsApp and I said, can you help me out here? Can you log in and just post some messages on the Inner Field Trip Instagram account, letting people know that I've been deactivated. And that was the start of being digitally dead. And what happened was a flurry of information going back and forth. People start to get wind through the messages posted to my inner field trip Instagram profile that something was amiss. If you did a search for Lisa Renee Hall in Instagram, nothing would come up. If you typed it in to Instagram, it'd take you to a page that says, sorry, this user cannot be found. Like, I've never had a violation on Instagram before. Never. I started the account in 2014. At the time, there were 34,000 followers on my profile. And with that many followers, and being on Instagram that long meant that I unlocked some features that were important to me. That helps me to do what I'm doing a lot faster. So Layla Saad sent me a WhatsApp and she said, my assistant told me what's going on. I'm going to post something on my profile. And so I brought her up to date. My account was deactivated. I have no idea why. The only warnings I got were the pop-ups, and then that was it. And now I don't have anything on Instagram. So based on her advice, I created a backup account. So at least if people search Lisa Renee Hall, they could find something. But the problem is that because it's a new account, I was restricted in what I could do. I couldn't post too many posts too quickly because then that would trigger something on Instagram's end regarding this new account. I tried to tag some of my friends and patrons by posting the tags in the comments. And after the third comment that I posted, I got a message saying restricted. You can't post any longer. Thanks. So there's not a lot I could do on this other account. So that made getting the other account back up. And as people started to send in messages to Instagram, apparently there are others who responded to Layla's post that I had been wiped off the face of Instagram. That some other people have had this happen to them. And so they provided advice on what to do. And meanwhile, I'm freaking out. Not freaking out, but I'm just, I'm really sad. I'm frustrated. I have no idea why I was kicked off. I don't know what actions. I don't know. I know nothing. I'm like Jon Snow. I know nothing. So my niece was over and we were playing, or at least I was trying to play. And trying to play, but my mind is on this thing. My patrons are getting involved. People who are my friends who have large accounts are getting involved. And just anyone who is in my community, in Layla's community, and in other communities. I don't even know who helped. I just know a lot of people did. And despite the fact that the community came and stood up for me and with me, I'm still worried, concerned. I want to capture something. Hang on. So, as my niece and I were eating cheesies and some gummy bears while playing Roblox, again trying to keep my mind off of what's happening, Layla sends me a WhatsApp. You're back. Your profile is back, she said. I first had to finish the round, the obby that I was playing. Because you know Roblox, right? If you leave the game, it doesn't pop you back in where you left off. So I played the game and then checked, and sure enough, Lisa Renee Hall was back up and running. Yay! But I have no idea why I lost access and why Instagram deactivated my account. I still don't know why. So, if it's suspicious login activity, I put in a two-factor authentication. I used to have it on everything, but then I got so annoyed with the extra step. I took it off, but I put that baby back on. Everything. And I also did some other security measures to help protect my account. But here's the thing. I mean, I was going through all the feels, yes. And that's one of the things you should do is go through the feels. Someone may say to you, well, it doesn't matter anyways. It's free. You only have 300 followers. You only have 3,000. You only have 300,000. Whatever. And someone may try to diminish or dismiss your very real feelings or try to compare it to world hunger. Oh, this is nothing compared to world hunger. Or the kids starving around the world. Yeah, but you are allowed to have your feelings. You're allowed to wallow in the anger, in the frustration, in the sadness. You are allowed. It's both and. You can both be upset about what's happening to you and still hold space for world hunger. It's okay. And so that's it, because what you're experiencing is a form of grief, that you're mourning the loss of something that was important to you. And regardless if you own it or not, regardless if it's free or not, regardless if you use it once a month or once an hour, the fact remains that when you lose access to your social media account, it stings. It doesn't feel nice. And so you are allowed to go through all the feelings. But the other thing that I didn't realize until I got back online and then posted a post to Lisa Renee Hall. What we did is on the other accounts, the backup account gave an update that we're back. And then on my other Instagram, Inner Field Trip, we posted an update as well saying that we'll have a longer reflection. And then on Lisa Renee Hall, I posted a quote because I need to reflect. I need to go away and understand this. And someone posted, her name Zora. I remember that's the name that was in the handle. And Zora posted something that was so key. And I won't have it word for word, but what she said is that this happened to you, Lisa. Like, I'm glad you're back and this happened to you, Lisa, but I felt injured. It wasn't my problem, but somehow what happened to you injured me as well. She said I could feel the violence of this removal, the erasure. How do you say that? The removal. She said she could feel it. And that's when it struck me that the reason why it was so utterly important to get back my profile wasn't just about the numbers. It wasn't just about the additional features I get because I have that many followers. It wasn't even for access to all the data going back to 2014, all my posts and photos, because at least once a quarter, I have a task in my calendar to do a data download. So the last time I did a data download from Instagram was 3 weeks before I was locked out. So, and in that 3 week period of time, I posted 5 things. 2 were reposts. The other 2 were original content, but I also have it written down. And there was one more. I don't remember what it was. I don't remember. So 5 posts in 3 weeks. I could easily recreate that. But what Zora pointed out to me, which is the key and the most important thing, is that the loss of my account meant a loss of community, not only for me, but for others who come to my profile to find information to help them to be better, to help them to understand more about themselves, especially when it comes to being a highly sensitive person who's trying to stand on the side of justice, but having your anxieties and nervous system overactive because the loud sounds of protests, the charged emotions at marches leave you feeling extremely drained and overstimulated. So the community that has gathered has come to rely on my advice to help them to understand how to navigate those very real feelings and to be able to do activism in a way that helps them to stay in the fight without burning out and without using their anxieties as an excuse. And so for the many people who had posted on Layla's post saying, I've come to rely on Lisa's advice to help me. At first I couldn't understand these deep emotions about my content. But then when Zora posted what she did, that's when it became clear that the loss of my profile was also a loss of community for many. And that's the reason why the profile had to go back up. That's the reason why I had to reclaim it. And whether it would take 2 years, 2 weeks, 2 months, who knows? In my case, it was 2 days. It had to go back up. Because to not have it up would mean that a voice would be missing. A much needed voice. And for me to be fed and nourished by those who show up and provide their comments to help me to understand what else I can post and what else I can share so that we all become better ancestors. So one thing I can say is that if you were part of the community that posted to Instagram asking them to restore my account, if you were part of the community who has been demanding of Instagram to provide an explanation as to how my account could just disappear with no explanation, with nothing to tell me why that happened in the first place. I want you to prioritize. I'm going to advise you to prioritize your mental wellness as well. Because for some, standing with me may have been triggering in some ways. Maybe you haven't sat down to reflect and acknowledge that. But sometimes when we stand on the side of justice and we fight for the marginalized and with the marginalized, it can be triggering because it can remind you of injustices that you've been part of, or injustices that have happened to you that have not been resolved. And so it's important that as you stand on the side of justice, I'm going uphill now again, that you continue to also ensure that your mental health, your mental wellness is prioritized. That in order to reclaim your humanity, you also have to remember that a big part of reclaiming your humanity is to find that, one of my patrons says, sweet spot. She doesn't use balance, she uses sweet spot between demanding justice and ensuring that you stay spiritually, emotionally, mentally, intellectually, and physically well. assemble bravely.